What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. Unfortunately, the XDefiant server test session has come to an end, but I had a lot of fun playing the game, and that's my takeaway from this weekend. I had a lot of fun, and I hope you did too. But I hope you didn't walk away this weekend thinking that the game is ready to launch tomorrow. No, no, no. I think this game still has a little bit of a road until we're ready to launch. Because if you launch the game right now in the current state that we got from the server test session, I don't think it would go over well with a lot of people in this community. There are major flaws, there are issues that this game needs to tackle before the game can go live. There's no sugarcoating that. There's no dancing around that fact. But I have faith in Ubisoft to make necessary strides to improve what needs to be improved. But we do have to address the elephant in the room, so let's get right to that right now. The netcode. This is everyone's biggest takeaway. This is everyone's biggest criticism, and rightfully so. This has been a major problem since the first time we got our hands on XDefiant in the beta last summer. Netcode issues. And those were followed up in the server test session that we had in the fall, and then they reared their ugly head once again here. And it left so many people in this community perplexed, flummoxed as to what the developers over at XDefiant have been doing for the last several months. The netcode, the netcode, the netcode. That's what we've been talking about. Why weren't there improvements made? And I know I sound optimistic at the start of this video, but I have to also be honest. If they don't fix the netcode, there's no point releasing XDefiant. Because while, yes, this game does deliver moments of absolute enjoyment and a ton of fun, they're broken up consistently by the game being inconsistent and unreliable, by server issues that just make the game a little bit less fun and pulls you out of the immersion they're trying to create, pulls you out of an enjoyable experience and turns it into a frustrating one. And if you want to succeed, if you want to go up against Call of Duty and CSGO and the other shooters that dominate this industry, you have to make the connection better. It's as simple as that. What I will say, though, is that when this game is running optimally and the server seems to be working and the netcode is functioning as it should be, man, do they have a hit here. They have something special. Something that I do believe the casual player base will pick up. Something that has a little bit more staying power than games like the finals. Just because it really delivers in a fun experience. And I saw some complaints over the weekend that the game felt really repetitive. And I didn't feel that because I kept switching up game modes. I would play a lot of domination, as you're mostly going to see on this channel. But I did try escort. I did try zone control and hotshot most certainly as well. And the modes are fun. There's diversity in them. They feel different. And that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing that there's only 5 right now. They're going to add more over time. And I think that's going to create more diversity. So no, I didn't feel the game felt too repetitive or felt boring or stagnant. And again, I think people also have to temper their expectations. It is a server test session after all. This isn't the full release. But with a server test session, we do have to provide feedback. And I think it's important that we provide feedback that isn't just obvious, like the netcode issues. We have to talk about some other issues that this game did face over this weekend. And one that comes to mind right away is weapon balancing. Now, for the most part in this game, I felt the ARs and SMGs were pretty fairly balanced. They seemed to play well. However, there were issues with the LMGs, with the shotguns. They were just like never used by players. And when you have a fast-paced game like this one, it's a little surprising that the shotgun isn't used more, because I think it does provide some power. But it's because they feel so underpowered compared to snipers, compared to ARs and SMGs. And I think that needs to be resolved. Alongside that, the LMG, I don't think I encountered a single player using one. And that should change over time. Now, obviously, I have no love lost for people who use LMGs because I think they're overpowered to begin with. But, with that being said, creating variety is a good thing. So maybe they need to adjust that as well. But the biggest issue I had over the weekend were snipers and marksman rifles. Those need to be adjusted ASAP. going into the game and knowing, hey, I probably don't have any chance if someone's good with the TAC 50 is disheartening. Because of their sprint to fire time being so short, it seems, you could be putting somebody in with a bunch of bullets from an ACR, an M4, an MP5, and all they're doing is mid-run, stop, pull up, and you're dead. Now, part of that is skill related because, hey, they're a skilled player, but part of that is netcode issues as well as the weapon just being too strong. So there needs to be some nerfs and some changes made to level the playing field. Because if I'm an AR user and I'm putting in 3 to 4 shots into you, and you can just turn around, quick scope me quickly before that 5th shot registers, there's a bit of an issue. Now, while we're talking about balancing, I would like to see some more balance in the overall operators. And this mostly pertains to Echelon, where, yeah, they disabled it over the weekend. But the sonar ability that allows you to see through walls and track player movement needs a bit of a tweak. For one, I don't think it should be available to everybody on the team. I think it should just be available to the player that's activating it, and that's it. And on top of it, I think it should be activated less often or earned less often. And frankly, I think if you make those two changes, it could be a much more balanced ability. But as it stands, it's probably still the strongest in the game. I found myself using it when it was available far more than I was using some of the other abilities. Although there is the Firestorm ability that the cleaners have, and let me tell you, that might be my favorite one in this game, because you can just go into a domination spot, activate it, and you get a few kills, and people don't really understand how they died, and you're sitting there around the corner laughing. It's great. It provides for some great gameplay moments. But I'd like to see the Echelon just tweaked a little bit, especially with his sonar glasses. Now, when it comes to the invisibility side of things, I never found that ability to be too overpowered. However, it was bugged, and that was an issue. And I think that needs to be addressed. Number one, that was a bug. That needs to be figured out. Because I think it is a very viable ability to utilize in a game mode like Domination or Zone Control or even Escort to get behind enemy lines, to put yourself in an advantageous position to surprise enemies. But of course, the balancing act that it has is the fact that you decloak the second you fire your gun, which is a very good balancing part to it. So I'd like to see them fix the bug, not remove it completely, and bring it back. Plus, it's not like the invisibility is impossible to see. You know, they had active camo in Halo for years, and you can still see the player. You just have to keep your eye out for them. So I think that tweaks can be made there. But as it stands for the majority of the other operators and their abilities, I never found anything to be super overpowered. I do find the DedSec, is that the one that has the hijack, to be extremely underpowered and underutilized. So I'd like to see them address that faction and be able to provide them with a little bit more oomph, so players are a little bit more enticed to use it. We'll see what happens over time. Obviously, there's going to be changes made and adjustments, and that's just one of them I'd like to see improved. Lastly, on the feedback side of things, because I don't want to go too long, but I want to be honest with this feedback, there needs to be some small adjustments made to the UI. I think one quality of life change I'd like to see is when you select play and you select unranked, you just go into a lobby that's not searching for games. Similar to how Call of Duty used to do it, where you just enter a lobby. That way you can go through everything you need to go through. Your create a class, your barracks, your XP, your challenges, and just have a hub for it. So it's very easy. And then from there, you search what game mode you want to play. And I think having a hub to be able to properly party up with people, similar to Call of Duty, makes a lot of sense and would just, again, improve the quality of life overall. And they also, in my opinion, need to do something about how the lobby looks when you're loaded into it. Right now, it feels very bland. It feels like it's very clunky. And I just like to see them streamline it a little bit more. Maybe have more opportunity to create a social aspect to it where you show off a calling card, an emblem, maybe, cool challenges you've completed or anything, just to provide a little bit more life in the lobby so it doesn't feel so generic. That's one of my main concerns. But realistically, that's me getting a little nitpicky. Because as it stands, if the game released with the current UI, I'd be fine with it, but I'd want to see it improved over time. It's going to be a live service game. There's going to be improvements that will be needed to be made. But that's kind of all I have for feedback as it stands right now, because it's all centered around the main issue that I think we're all aware of, and the developers are certainly aware of it, and that's that the netcode needs to be better. If the netcode improves, a lot of these smaller issues like weapon balancing and faction balancing and the UI can be tackled and can be perfected. But it all depends on them solving the netcode issue. So in conclusion, I had a lot of fun playing XDefiant. I'm very hopeful and optimistic about this game because I see something worth investing time and energy into. It's a fun game. I just really hope it gets the necessary amendments to it so that we can see the improvement and actually get this game to the level it can reach. I don't think it'll beat out Call of Duty, but I think it can be a worthy adversary to Call of Duty that might have to get Call of Duty to pick up their game a little bit. That's all I'm hoping from XDefiant. But as it stands, had a lot of fun during the server test session, and I'm excited to play it again. I'm excited for the full-scale launch. Let's just hope they figure out the netcode. But before I leave you today, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this server test session. What were your main takeaways? What were your main criticisms of this game? Would love to hear it down below in that comment section. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more videos from me, please hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys next time.